A long while back on the moon of Kenshi, three like-minded people came together to create what would be the Warriors of Winds clan and create a more perfect empire. Amongst the ruins of the hub, they decided to stick together and make their own resources, make their own weapons and armor, food and what have you, and invite anybody in who would help them. They established their very first base up on top of a hill outside of the hub, and started with just a little modest shack and a rudimentary farm in which they couldn't even cook the ingredients yet, but they knew if they worked together, worked hard enough, they could accomplish big things. And set themselves apart from all this speciesism, racism, and hatred of the other surrounding kingdoms. 26 days later, they had made real progress. They had picked up people from the neighboring Shek Kingdom, and even from the Holy Nation, who wanted to get away and create something bigger and better than themselves and help support their brothers, no matter what they looked like or what species they were. So, more buildings came into play. They got their first dog Brute. They picked up their Master Smith Voodoo, who was started as a weapon crafter, and Jerem Stone, who would be one of their chief architects, and also started mining the iron and copper in the area. And they defended themselves from lots of different threats. Bandits, starving vagrants. But one day, the Band of Bones came upon them, and they were bigger and more powerful than any of the other factions that had come to their door. And they decided to, instead of fight, to flee and find a way to eventually be able to take on such a powerful opponent as the Band of Bones. They were pretty full of themselves, and in their boredom decided to pillage and rob from the Warriors of Winds fledgling clan. But the collective knew that they could put together a big enough opposition, a big enough force to eventually take down the Band of Bones. But in the meantime, they'd have to bide their time and let the Band of Bones do their own thing. So they did. They went in, they took the base several different times, but fortunately strategy prevailed, and having the secret backup houses in the hub where they could stow away and research and gather their weapons and arm and food without being totally stripped down proved invaluable. So the new alliance made plans and got together the resources and prepared for the day when they would take the fight to the Band of Bones instead of having to be victim to losing their territory. From the rooftop, they could keep an eye on the gate of their base and see exactly when the Band of Bones would get bored and leave their little facility. And eventually they would. In the meantime, the strategy was to sell a lot of the equipment they made up top, the weapons and armor, from their smith, and save up cash to eventually be able to hire a mercenary group or bring on more people to the Warriors of Winds once they could afford more $6,000 and $3,000 tribunals that most of the new members would require. So they would go back up top and continue their progress and continue to expand their empire, finding off the starving bandits and other vagrants that would come up against them. Welcome to my series. This is Rollin on the Gamer Guide channel, and this is the game Kenshi. If you're not familiar with it, you can find Kenshi on Steam, and it's a lot of fun to play. Definitely my favorite game of the year, though it's been out for quite a long time. I just didn't personally discover it until this year. I've done some tutorials on different things in Kenshi, and I've played quite a lot of Kenshi too. These next couple videos I do on Kenshi, are going to be sort of a prequel to me playing some Kenshi, but I'm going to do things a little bit differently than some of the other people have done on Kenshi. I'll be playing Kenshi after an entire year of playing Kenshi, in-game days-wise, 1 Earth year. So it will be Kenshi after 365 days of building up a kingdom in Kenshi. And just give you some different takes on Kenshi, as most people start from day 1 and show you that playthrough. This will be starting after much progress in many different cities have been established, so it might be a different take and interesting. Hope you guys will enjoy it. Anyway, so right now we're just fighting off these starving bandits, and getting a little tougher as we have a more important fight coming up in the future. We also need to upgrade our walls, as these starving bandits and dust bandits seem to be breaking them down quite easily. So we'll refortify most likely and add some more expansive walls to the outside and improve our smithing capabilities too. I think we want to get into armor and crafting leather and cloth as well as just weapons. It also means we're going to have to bring on some more smiths. Well along day 82, we finally have got together a group of mercenaries after selling lots of our weapons and armor at the nearby Shek and Holy Nation kingdoms. We fortified our ranks with these mercenaries, and now we're headed down to where we found the Band of Bones base to be nearby. We had some of the group follow the Band of Bones last time they infiltrated our compound and found their secret hideout. Meanwhile, back home, our city has grown pretty extensively here on top of the hill. We have a couple new buildings, one of them for crafting different kinds of armor, and we have a new place to sell it too there at the main building and bar in our own building as well. Still getting chased by dust bandits, so Tara here, since she's part of the Wind's Freshmen, is going to just hide out and try to avoid a fight. Most of the neighboring bars are loyal to us, as their ninja guards will come into our aid if we get into too much trouble, especially since we trade so much gear with them and make them so much money. And we have a policy of not thieving from our neighbors. So usually these guys, like the dust bandits, will leave us alone once we've done that. Back over to the Band of Bones area, we're gathering all our different weapons and arming up our ranged soldiers with crossbow bolts. And we'll take our group down and try to get as close as we can, sneaking in. And then we're going to go ahead and take our first fight to the Band of Bones instead of them coming to us. We figured this time we'll stop them before they even get to the raid on our kingdom. But our stealth is poor enough where they saw us pretty much right away and confronted us. But we were ready for them this time. We brought backup too from the nearby way station that is full of mercenaries. And our money here will help us fight. Let's see how it goes. They say it will be our doom. I don't think so. I think we're ready for them this time. We brought our best warriors, the main crew, with us. Voodoo, Germstone, Kang, and Ruka of the nearby Shek Kingdom. And we also have Grambler and Griffin from the Holy Nation. And we picked up Brute, too, from one of the animal traders. After fighting with the Dust Bandits, we got pretty strong, and we were able to make even better weapons that we were finding in the environment. And so taking the fight to these guys should be a little more practical now that we're stronger than we have been. So let's see how we do. We have Kang, one of our chief warriors, and also the one that wields the heaviest weapons in the fray, along with Germstone, who's also a great fighter, along with our master architect. And then the mercenaries too are our pushovers. They're pretty tough warriors. So along with our range support, we should be able to take these guys out without too much of a problem now that it's almost 82 days into our kingdom. And we've increased our numbers almost double what they were before. We need to figure out who the leader of this Band of Bones is and go ahead and take them to prison. So the Band of Bones was not hostile with us before because we tried to avoid their conflicts whenever possible since they were so much stronger. But now, we'll see how they like having their base taken over by by their neighbors. Only they were not as smart, and they didn't flee when we came knocking on their door. They still have a tongue on them, though, talking smack. So we're gonna have to teach them who's the boss in this area of the world. And we'll go ahead and strip their weapons and armor and sell them at market too, to help our ranks a little bit more. We lost a couple of people as far as just getting knocked out in the fighting, but nothing permanent that was done here. No one lost any limbs, it looks like, and no one's going to lose a life. One of the differences we do in our kingdom is everybody is a medic, and everybody has to learn how to medic other people, as it's universally the first skill, so pretty much universal healthcare for everybody. And everybody has to carry medical packs, and a lot of them carry splints and robotic equipment too. Though at this point, we don't really have too many robots. It's mostly just Shek humans and the occasional hiver that we end up picking up. Even with our preparation and training, the Shek still put up a pretty good fight. I mean, they took down Rida and Griffin, who are no slouches. I mean, they're in our main crew and pretty formidable fighters, so you got to give them some respect. But we did prevail, and we did wipe out their camp. However, I did see that their leader was here, and she was worth a 10,000 cat bounty at the neighboring kingdom of the Shek. So we're going to go ahead and clean out her inventory real quick and see what she has, and then we'll go ahead and pick her up and take her into the Shek Kingdom. Let's go ahead and have Rollin do that, as he's the leader of the Warriors of Winds right now. And let's go ahead and pull off some of these other things. Tora doesn't have anything spectacular, but she does have slightly better grades of armor than what is standard. So let's go ahead and heal her up, and we'll take her into prison. And hopefully they'll keep an eye on her so she doesn't become a pain in our backsides again with the Band of Bones. Also go and pick up Rida and Griffin and get them patched up and take them back to our base at Peak Top Forge. So Squin is just south of the hub, and that is just south of Peak Top Forge, just to kind of give you the bearings. Meanwhile, back at the Rebel Bar near our base, looks like we didn't have any problem getting away from those dust bandits as Terra got away clean. And back at home, the Winds Freshmen are working on the wheat farm, as we've set up the ability to make bread, and we have a well now and everything too. So we can make our own food now in the 2 wheat fields. We also picked up the Hyvergeanism, who will be our master researcher, as they're going pretty quickly and they're good at making tech stuff. So that is the plan so far. So our army is carrying back Tora, and we got our mercenaries in tow too to protect us. 44 days later, and guess what? The Band of Bones is back. We were out on a hunting trip, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we are getting attacked by the Bands of Bones. We're sending a new army to our base, I guess in retribution for us taking them out last time. I can only surmise that Tora the Fearless is behind the entire thing. But we are ready for him this time. We're more powerful than we were 44 days ago. And we have crossbows now, and we have tactics too, so good luck taking us out. Looks like they split their groups though, so we're going to have to take out their first group that was coming our direction, in which Lars, our new infiltrator, ended up directing them to our little trap here in between Squin and the hub. So when they came around the corner, they weren't expecting to see our mercenaries and our army waiting there for them. But here they come, so round 2 with the brand new Band of Bones bandits, which I imagine have repopulated their exile camp, and our mercenaries. Let's go ahead and put everybody to battle, and let's see if we can get our mercenaries in there too. Looks like we got a lot of people on ranged, so let's see how it goes. We also have ourselves some brand new pack garus. Brute is one, and Scotty, so we can now trade bigger quantities of weapons and armors to the Shek nearby. So these guys are doing some decent damage to us. I guess they were a little more ready than last time when we ambushed them at their hideout. But well, I think we're going to make pretty short work of them. I see a lot of green numbers, which is when we do damage to them, and the red numbers, of course, is when we take damage. And I see more green and bigger numbers from us than from them. I think we're doing pretty good. Still got a couple stragglers here on the bottom. Let's see if we can finish them off. But looks like no one went down this time. There we go. We got him. So we took out that half, but I know there was some more people on the map. Let's see. Do we still have a couple more we're fighting? Or are we just shooting ourselves now? Yeah, we have one guy up still. Alright, looks like we got him. Let's go ahead and get everybody healed up. And we need to deal with the other half of the Band of Bones assault. Probably headed to our base. We were out basically clearing up starving vagrants and dust bandits in the area and taking out some of their camps when we got attacked by the Band of Bones. So I'm going to go ahead and take most of my group and send them down the road to try to intercept that little red dot you see there, which is the other half of the Band of Bones, or the blue dots down further south. And then I'll take a couple people, probably Lars and Voodoo and Colonius, and have them loot who we just killed and sell off their gear and the nearby Shek Kingdom. So we'll go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, back at the base, I guess I better get some of our new members like Gragas and stuff and everybody to man the defenses, as I expect an attack imminently at our gates. Though we now have crossbows and we have an extra wall of defense and also an upgraded wall of defense too. A little harder to break through. We'll go ahead and take these weapons and armor next door to Squin and hopefully make a couple extra bucks. I don't think anybody in that bunch had a bounty. And it looks like our group of mercenaries and our army is catching up. Meanwhile, back at home, I decided to stick a couple new crossbows on top of our bar and trading outpost, just in case the enemies get to the base first. But we are pretty close behind. I see that the Band of Bones is making a little bit of progress up this mountain. But I think we'll probably be able to surround them and have the army attack from the back as the defenders up on the wall hold them off with the crossbows. At least that's the plan for now. We also have established a little bit more territory inside of the hub at this point, taking some more of the buildings in the hub and building them up. And I think our ultimate goal here is going to be to totally rebuild the hub and make it one of our own cities. Looks like, for whatever reason, the Band of Bones has stopped in this little culvert, and maybe they're regrouping or something. But it's giving our army enough time to get up on top of the hill and get our crossbows out and ready. Maybe we can cut them off before they even hit our walls, as I'd rather have our more trained warrior group handle them than the newbies. We've also picked up a couple new members. We have Hob, we have Duke and Mallory, and some others that are good warriors. Hobbs our first full-time martial artist, too. And somebody that we initially hadn't picked up, but later realized that Hobbs is a pretty good asset and help to our group. He's also a great farmer. Alright, here they come up around the corner, and let's see if we can take out the rest of the Band of Bones, though we had no problem doing it last time. And now we have a good group of mercenaries, too, at our back. I think we're about ready. I'm just going to set these guys out with crossbows ready to go when they come up the hill, so maybe we can get a couple shots in before we have to fight them hand to hand, as the Shek race is a pretty formidable group of warriors, or a formidable race of warriors. I've commanded each of the front line there to get the crossbows out and start firing. And let's see if we can get Mallory up here too. She's also good at crossbows. And then once they close the distance, we'll go ahead and go to melee combat mode, and the mercenary group behind us too can join the fight. And let's see here. Let's get Hobbs in the action too. I'll probably take them off range in just a second so we don't hit our own guys with crossbow bolts. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll take a couple of them off. Since Rollin is also the guy who hired the mercenaries, getting them in melee means that the mercenaries also will be fighting. And so far, we are... looks like we're winning the fight here. And our guys are pretty powerful warriors now. So we can get hit, but mostly that's from our own guys accidentally hitting each other. Anyway, so we defeated a raid of the Band of Bones, and let's see if now we can take out their base again at the exile camp, as obviously they have reassembled their army And where there's one raid, there's going to be more too, unless we go there and take out their leader, who's probably Tora the Fearless, I'm guessing. Probably got out of jail, and we need to go down there and put her back in jail to stop the raids. Meanwhile, looks like Lars Claudius and Scotty have gone to town, and let's get some of their stuff sold off here at the nearby shop. See what extra money we can make there too. We also, I think, are going to start having a presence here in Squin, if we can. I know a lot of the Shek are not our allies yet, or even like humans that much, but the ones that do seem like a big help to us, and maybe we can win them over by trading with them more often. So, we are back at the way station near the Band of Bones, and once again, we have hired some different mercenaries, this time tech hunters mostly, to come help us defeat the Band of Bones and capture Tora the Fearless once again. I didn't have to bring as many this time, as I feel like we're strong enough now where probably half our numbers or less than we had before can get in there and get the job done. So I've just taken Lars, Voodoo, Claudius, myself, and Scatty, Titan, and Duke, who should be able to get this done along with the tech hunters we hired. So we'll go ahead and head over there real quick and see if we can find Tora and put her back in prison. This time we decided to go at night. Let's see if we can get Scatty away from there. She's going to get herself seen. So we have a little bit more cover or darkness, so we can have somebody get in a little closer. Probably going to take Lars in, as he's become a specialist in stealth after training up at the spider camps. He's gotten pretty powerful at sneaking, and now I need to practice a little bit of assassination too, which is basically going in and knocking people out. So his stealth, as you see, is all the way up at 100, and I'm just making sure we're not too over-encumbered or anything, so we don't blow our cover. But let's try this first. If we can take out their guards and don't even have to fight them, we can possibly sneak in and get better placement and positions when we start our attack on the Band of Bones. Looks like the sun's coming up though, so we need to hurry up. Alright, let's see. We only have, looks like 6 people that are on guard duty and awake, and everybody else is asleep. So if we can sneak up on this guy, though we don't have a very high chance of knocking him out, we can at least deal with one less warrior than before. So let's hope that Lars can hit it, and it looks like it was successful. We got a thunk, which means we were able to knock him out. So let's go and take his medical pack, and we'll take his weapon, and keep stealthing and see if we can take out another guy too. But he won't be a problem, at least for the next couple hundred seconds. And let's see, that one's only 20%. Let's see if we can find their leader. We have Band of Bones, 1, 2, who's this guy? Ah! It is Tora the Fearless, and she still has a $10,000 bounty on her head too, so looks like she either escaped prison or she has done enough crimes to reamass that $10,000 warrant. So we intend to collect on it. We're going to take our crew in here. We're all sneaking in, though I don't think that the tech hunters have very good stealth, it doesn't look like. But we probably can get all the way up on them this time without them realizing that we're coming in to fight them once again. And hopefully this time we can keep them away. We got spotted, it looks like. Somebody came up on the hill and saw us. So let's see if we can get in there before they go hostile on us. I guess we'll go ahead and take everybody off sneak now, as we've kind of already had our cover blown. And now we'll just use our speed to get in there and start the fight. Alright, well the guards are coming out, so we didn't really get the jump on them as well as I wanted to. And of course they have to talk their trash about humans. But we'll see how much they talk after we get done with them. Alright, the only person I'm not taking off stealth is Lars. I'm going to see if I can take out some people while we're fighting with the assassination attempt. I'm not sure if it's going to work though. But yellow does mean he's hidden. It's red means that you've been uncovered, or someone sees you. And blue is basically you're totally invisible to people. Alright, let's see here. They're still talking mess as we mess them up. Claudius is a Shek warrior, so I'm not sure why they're talking so much mess. And Voodoo, being a master smith, is pretty good with a sword too. Alright, looks like we're winning once again. See lots of green numbers, not so much red. Got hit a little bit there. So we took that guy out and pretty much overrun their entire camp. And now things are getting much easier. The tables have turned and we're the ones that are the tough guys on the block. So I don't think there'll be any more of these Band of Bones raids on us that are going to be successful at this point. Even without the mercenaries, I think we might have been able to take these guys out. They are helping us pretty well here in the corner. Alright, now we need to find out where Tora fell, and we'll go and take her stuff and turn her back into the Shek people. So we had ourselves a decisive victory. We need to get off their bodies now and see who is who on the ground, as we need to pick up Tora the Fearless and take her back in with us to Squin and turn her in for that new $10,000 bounty. Let's see, here's another Band of Bones. Another unconscious. And as soon as we find her, we'll go and pick her up. Throw over her shoulder. Aha! There she is! Tora the Fearless. Let's get someone to pick her up real quick. And we'll head back to Squin and throw her in the brig. And maybe sell off some of this new loot we've picked up. It's also a great way to pick up a lot of medical packs and supplies, too, that you can't craft yet. So we've gotten quite a few here from their bodies. Let's see. Looks like I'm running out of room. Maybe we can make a little space for another sword. And let's just check to make sure we haven't missed anybody. But it looks like we got everybody, so let's go ahead and head back to Squin with our loot and our prisoner and turn her in. We'll go ahead and patch her up again, too. Hopefully, this time they won't let her out in a month's time to cause more problems. As I guess 10,000 cats doesn't get you in prison very long. Alright, we're back in Squin. Looks like they want to do a normal bag check, as that seems to be kind of routine. So we'll show them our stuff, as we are not in the business of smuggling stolen goods or drugs. We pretty much just make everything legitimately and sell it here in the Shek Kingdom or nearby Holy Nation, depending on what it is. And how recently we sold to them, too, as they have a cap on how much they can be sold in a day. But this 10,000 bucks should boost us a little bit. We're at about 100 and looks like 38,000 cats right now, which is pretty healthy for us. We don't have any worries about supplying food or medical supplies or anything like that to our group. We can pretty much buy most anything we need, and we make our own weapons and stuff too. We defeated the Dust Bandit King, and we fought the Black Ninja Dragons. And then also the fight here with the Band of Bones has got us a lot of pretty decent gear and loot too off some of their leaders. Let's go ahead and turn Tora in. There we go, another 10,000. So now we're at 148,000 cats. And we'll go ahead and head back to our main hideouts. We've also established another new base over in the Holy Nation territory, which is mostly set up on agricultural stuff. It's a little hard to grow things over by the hub, so we have a base just basically for growing things. Also see that the Black Dragon Ninjas have kind of resurfaced, so we're going to have to head back over there at some point and take them out too. But at this point, it should be no problem. 360 days later, and our kingdom is flourishing. Peak Top Forge is making all kinds of weapons and armor, and robotics too, as we've installed new buildings just for that. And then here at the once ruined hub, we've now annexed it into Peak Top Forge, and it's part of our kingdom as we own the entire thing. We also had Tora the Fearless join us, as she said, if you can't beat them, join them, and we were happy to have her, as she's quite a mighty warrior. Just south of Squin, we've built the city of Guero, which Tora the Fearless runs with her Shek army and defends the Warriors of Winds to this day. If you guys have enjoyed this series, please leave me a thumbs up and a comment down below. I'd appreciate that. I do have another Kenshi video in the works already and should be bringing that to you shortly. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Later.